So I'm currently sat in a meeting pod in the Gymshark main office, and in my last video I asked you guys if you wanted to have a little bit more sort of like background on what I do on a day-to-day basis, what my role is in Gymshark, and there was a massive positive response for me to do this video. So I spent a little bit of time, I recorded my working week, and I also wanted to sit down today just to talk about exactly what I do on a day-to-day basis. But before I get into my job role, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of context as to the history of my role, what I did as Gymshark started, and how that's changed over the last few years. When Gymshark first started, I was really interested in just making things, particularly computer development. So from iPhone apps to websites, I was absolutely obsessed with making things like that. Fast forward a couple of years to when Gymshark first started, I was in touch with everything, every little thing, from the making of the logos to the creation of the first product to the website to how the dropshipping system would work. Every single thing in the business at some point I had a heavy involvement in, touched, or I would have even made it from back-end systems to front-end product. I arranged all the first expos, customer experience. I remember working at Pizza Hut, driving around in the car and then jumping on my phone to respond to customer queries, and I absolutely fell in love with that sort of initial entrepreneurial stage of running the business. During the first 2 years especially, I would absolutely pride myself that I could have done any job at Gymshark as well or better as anyone else. Slightly different now, but at the time, during that entrepreneurial phase, every single part of the business I would have been involved in at some point. Now that's a really good thing, and it's great to know the inside of the business. However, I very quickly realised that that creates a bottleneck and a single point of failure. I came to the realisation, particularly with Paul and Steve's help, that is not feasible if we wanted Gymshark to be the biggest brand in the world. If we wanted to make these incredible products, we wanted to change the world in the way that we want to. And we also needed to employ people that were significantly better at what they do than what I or we are. That, for me, was one of the most fundamental moments in Gymshark history, was that realisation. The realisation's great, but when it actually happens, when you actually bring these people in and you know in your heart of hearts that this is the right thing to do, but it is so difficult to watch happening, and it's really odd because you become sort of weirdly protective over certain areas of the business. But then when you employ someone that's significantly better to do it, then you have to allow them to do their job. And I would keep finding myself wanting to jump in and wanting to change things, but you just sort of have to let it happen, and you have to trust people, and that was really tough for me, and I think it is for any business owner that has been through the same thing. My role today, first and foremost, I'm Gymshark owner, majority shareholder, director, and with that comes with certain responsibility. I mean, I have to sign off accounts, I have certain duties with the bank, I'm legally responsible for the business, and I have a duty of care for the business and everyone involved in it. And as a director, we have board meetings, and at these board meetings we'll discuss everything that's going on, from warehousing to the product and how it's built, and world tours and events and things like that. And we'll generally discuss sort of like broader strategic things we might be looking at, what we're going to do in 5 years, like how are we going to take that leap from where we are now to being as big as what we want to be. But most of my time is spent doing my day-to-day job. I want to spend my time doing the things that excite me, the things that literally make me jump out of bed in the morning, the things that I'm totally passionate about. And those are the things that will keep this brand growing at the insane rate that it's growing at now. Right now, it's really fashionable to be a CEO. However, from my point of view, I think that this is the age of the creatives. I mean, you look at people like Casey Neistat, who maybe 10-20 years ago, they just, the world almost wasn't ready for them. And when I was thinking about what role I want to do and where my skill set lies, I kept coming back to that same word, and it was creative, and it was making things. So this is why, when deciding what I wanted to do in the business, I'm not Gymshark CEO. We wrote down what the CEO is going to do. I realised that there were parts of that role that really didn't suit me, and that's why I decided to be the Gymshark Chief Brand Officer. Steve assumed the role as the CEO, and I've assumed the role as the CBO. In a sentence, my job is to dream. Every day I'm working on tomorrow. I mean, when I just recorded this last week of what I've been doing, I found it really hard because so much of the stuff that I'm doing is just so far in advance, or it's the sort of stuff that I'm just not ready to show online. I'm literally just trying to work out and create what is going to elevate us to, bigger than the likes of Adidas and Lululemon. The CEO versus the CBO, if I could sort of summarise those into two sort of different sentences, the CEO focuses on today, runs the business today, whereas what I do is focus on tomorrow. I head up 4 main teams. That is the product team, the innovation team, the creative team and the brand team. So I'm absolutely fascinated by what we can achieve by combining a strong, robust business backend that is being led by the creative at all times. I mean, particularly from my point of view, me and the creative team, in the first 14 weeks of this year, I'd done 24 flights. I was out of the country in the last 12 months for so much of it that without this back end, the company wouldn't have been able to run. So by having that strength in depth in the back of the business, it means it gives us sort of the freedom to do all the awesome stuff that we do on the front end of the business. I hope this has given you a little bit more background on Gymshark and what I do at Gymshark on a daily basis. So coming up is a week in the life of my role. I recorded everything that I could. There's definitely a lot missing. There's not really any of my sort of owner or director duties. I've focused on the activities that I do as a chief brand officer that I can show. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it gives you a little bit more insight, and please subscribe, and if you want anything else to be covered in the next video, just comment below. Today we're in London and we are sorting out the London store for the July Gymshark birthday, and to measure up the store and plan what's going to go where we're going to have stock, what it's going to look like. And we're not 100% sure that we're going to have this store at the moment, as we've had a last minute message from the landlords. So whilst planning this store, we've also been looking for other stores as backup locations and trying to work out what we can do with them as well. So. On. Did you not do it on that back wall? We'll move the Mickey bit to there. And then we could just have that thing as flex on them there, and then we could have all the products here. And then you got power there. If you want to hang it. So we just finished planning out the other store, and then we were told that this store. And today is the Nicky Blackett launch, and everything has been so busy that I actually forgot to mention that he's launching now. So everything is going crazy in there right now. Really excited. Let's rock. So this is the amount of people that are on the US. This is on the UK. That's crazy. So Nicky should be live now. The range just sold out in about 3 minutes, sort of as expected. It was absolutely insane. Next on our list of things to do today is the new creative office. So Noel is now the creative director of Gymshark. I haven't even told anyone yet.
Setting up the creative team, coolest team at Gymshark, also going to have the coolest office. Started with a blank canvas. I said rip every wall out, which is what we did. I said paint everything white, which is what they did. That big back wall there, we're going polished concrete. We're also getting a big white neon Gymshark sign to go in the top corners. This section of the polished concrete we're going to use for photo shoots. And I love the idea that just while the graphics girls are dealing with the graphics and putting graphics together for images, they can also see people shooting the images here. So if there's something they want, they can come over and say, yo, can we change the way the girls, their hands, whatever.
It is our job, particularly Noel's job, to create, in a nutshell, the greatest creative team in the world, particularly with some of the athletes and ambassadors which are joining the team. We really need to be up in the standard of our content. Next week, all of this should be going in. So whilst I'm in the US, I'm going to be flying out to San Francisco. I'm going to jump from San Fran to New York. I'll be in New York for about a day and a half, and then I'll be heading back. So hopefully all this should be sorted by the time I'm home. So today was a pretty crazy day. Still waiting on some news back from the store checkout that we did yesterday. And now we're just headed to the Gymshark company update meeting. So this is an update where we let everyone know about how sales have been, how we're growing, the new hires that are coming in. And yeah, it's just nice to have everyone together in one place.
Well done to Ollie. Never shot a video before. Ollie took it over, and I think he probably did as good a job as I would have done. So.
Sally, how you been?
Well, and this strategy
We're flying to San Francisco today for a really exciting meeting there, and we're going to be working on the R&D/innovation part of the business. Now again, from today and over the next couple of days, I'm not sure how much I'll be able to actually show and put into this, but test the product here. Augmented reality sandbox here, which is connected to this, and in real time it's assessing the environment. So this has gone red obviously because it's high. If I knock all this down, then it's going to reassess what's there. You've got this here, so the internals of this has been made into sort of real size here. This is just amazing. Genuinely, this is amazing. I'm so inspired, and in my first video that I did, I talked about how you need to be creative with both the front end and the back end of your business, and I think this is just that all over. And again, like stuff like this, is this directly relevant to what we're creating right now today? No, not at all. But I mean, it just gets you thinking in your head about, you know, what we can do with this technology, how this can improve what we make and the things that we're going to make. And I just find it so inspiring and so cool. And this is just when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, and I just make stuff, whether it's an app or a website or whatever, and this is just like I'm doing that, but supercharged. And this is just so cool. I really do feel like I have the best. And the progress on the office has been really good. The Gymshark neon sign is in, the concrete wall is up. That looks so clean. This is going to be our photo shoot area here, and then we're going to have the laptop on here, which is going to tether straight into the computer screen, so all the guys in the creative team around the office can be seeing the images on the screen live as the photo shoot is happening here. Gymshark London sign is going to be massive, so obviously we've got Gymshark here. Equal width down here, we're going to have the letters LDN. Noel has our special delivery.
First time.
Oh my god, it's glorious. That is absolutely gorgeous. We showed you the new red cam and us getting crazy excited over it, but for those of you who don't know what a red cam is or what it does, here's Noel.
Red cam. Cinema grade camera, shooting 8K raw. Shoots all sorts of crazy frame rates. While I could get nerdy and tell you why it's so great and all the feature films that have been shot on this camera, what Gymshark are going to do with it is we're just going to make some really cool stuff.
We've just had word that the London store is confirmed. It was the first one that we viewed in this video, so it was our favourite one. But the 8th and 9th, Saturday, Sunday, is open to everyone, so make sure you stop by. Everyone is going to be there. A ton of the Gymshark team will be there. We've got exclusive product. We're going to be putting pre-release product forward from that are going to go live on the website, and we've also got some super exclusive product that is only going to be available for that weekend. So be sure to pop by. It is going to be an epic weekend, and I cannot wait.